Hey Crafty fam, it's Alex Vanover back with DIY Alex and welcome back to my craft room. In this video, I want to show you the easiest Christmas ornaments on the planet, and that is tile Christmas ornaments. If you guys are new to the crafting world, or maybe you're overwhelmed by all the different kinds of ornaments that you can make with your Cricut, these are seriously the easiest that I have ever found. So keep watching so that I can show you how to make those. Or if maybe you're not as new to the Cricut crafting world and you want to take your tile ornaments up a step, keep watching so that I can show you how to use alcohol inks on your ornaments and make unique, beautiful creations out of every single ornament. So let's get started. So first you're gonna need some tile. I got this entire sheet of tile for like $6 or $7 a couple months ago at Lowe's. It works great because you get a huge sheet of them and you can get lots of different shapes. I chose the hexagons, but you can get the really nice Moroccan tile. That's the really popular like longer double bobble shape that a lot of people are using in the groups, but all the tile ornaments work the same. So first you're gonna need a piece of tile. And so I'm just going to start with one. And then you're going to need a decal made out of adhesive vinyl. So this is the Starcraft Metals. This is the chrome red, and it is a gorgeous, like very shiny, reflective vinyl that's already cut by my Cricut, weeded, and has transfer tape on it. So it's really, really super simple. So to get started, you just apply the vinyl straight to the tile. You don't have to do anything to prep it or anything like that. Just want to make sure any intricate pieces don't get, left behind on your backing. So you just want to apply your decal as centered as you can. And I chose a snowflake that has 6 sides as well to go along with my hexagon tile. I just thought it would look really nice. Then you're going to use a squeegee and push your vinyl onto your tile. Once you remove your transfer tape, y'all, that is literally it. I don't know how well you can see that the tile has a little bit of texture to it, almost has like that mosaic look. This is really intended for like your shower, but it looks beautiful in ornaments, especially in a set of ornaments. This is a great gift for your friends this Christmas, or it's also a great craft to sell because you could sell a set with several different snowflakes or, a series of names or whatever you want to use. This tile would look great in a set for Christmas this year. You could make several different snowflakes in a set that all go together. There's lots of beautiful ways to do it, but after you apply the vinyl, all you have to do is add the ribbon in the backing and you are done. And I will show you how to do that in just a moment. So these are literally the easiest tiles on the planet. You do not have to apply Mod Podge. You do not have to seal over top of it. As long as you are using a permanent adhesive vinyl like Orcal 651, Starcraft Magic, anything like that, you are good to go. But if you want to take your ornaments up a notch, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So if you are a super newbie and you're looking to maybe step up your skills a little bit, let me show you how you can do that as well. So I'm going to start with a tile just like I started with the other one. So you're going to start the tile the same way that you did before. Just take a single tile. You can clean it with alcohol if you want to, if that makes you feel better. Really though, especially since these tiles already have a plastic covering over top, that's not super duper necessary, but that may help your stick. But in this case, for this one, that's not going to be as important. But I have another decal somewhere that is already cut and weeded and has transfer tape over it, and it's the same vinyl. I also cut this out of the Starcraft Magic chrome red, and I'm going to apply it exactly the same way that I applied the other snowflake. And I'm going to squeegee it on. And remove my transfer tape. But now I'm gonna get a little bit creative and add some color to this. So if you guys have ever worked with alcohol inks before, you can finally probably figure out where this is going. But if you haven't, alcohol inks are really, really fun. They can be used in a lot of different ways, especially with like cups and tumblers and things like that, with paper, with card making, and also with tile. So I'm gonna be showing you, I'm not sure what color combination I'm gonna do yet, but these are the Tim Holtz alcohol inks. You can buy alcohol inks at the craft store, and I will also link all these materials in the description below for you, but they are super fun, easy to work with, and a great way to mix up your crafts. So we're gonna apply alcohol ink to this tile to add a little bit of color, and we're basically gonna use this vinyl as a stencil on top of the tile rather than the vinyl being the main event like it is on this one. So I'm gonna be using, whoops, I'm gonna be using one of these little alcohol ink applicators, which you can also buy at Michael's. I just got a great deal on these on Amazon. It came with a couple of dabbers and a 50 pack of refills for like 12 bucks, which is a great deal. These are just basically little felt applicator pads, and these are just gonna help me spread my alcohol ink around. But you can also use some regular household items. You can use any kind of makeup sponges if you don't have one of these dabbers. You can also use straws. So there's lots of different ways to get around this if you don't have any. But I'm gonna start, let's see. I'm gonna start with this green. Make sure that you shake up your alcohol inks before you use them. And I'm just gonna add a little bit to this pad and start dabbing on top of my snowflake. So I'm just gonna add a couple of drops around here, and just start dabbing around the center. This is a really light green. I wanted to keep it with kind of Christmassy colors. It's not really my favorite color, but it's a color that I already had. So it's this super light green. You can kind of blend it out like this a little bit. And this also brings out the texture of the tiles. Like I was telling you guys before, they have kind of a mosaic look to them, and the alcohol ink does a great job of kind of bringing that out. But now I'm gonna add some of these mixatives, which are like metallic. They're metallic alcohol inks, but they're more like, they're really overpowering. So you don't wanna use a bunch of these if you want the color to show through. But I am more interested in the metallic look. So I'm gonna apply a fair amount of mixatives to my pad. So I love the way this looks. And then I'm also gonna add some rose gold. So this is gold, I'm also gonna add some rose gold. Especially these mixatives, you really want to make sure that you shake them up. Let's see what this looks like. And so I'm just kind of dabbing on top. My tile's a little uneven because it has some of this netting on the back, but I'm going to show you how to fix that before you give it as a gift. So I'm just taking my alcohol ink all the way to the edge. Alcohol inks are fun. They dry really, really fast. And just like their name, you can always use rubbing alcohol to take them off or change them or get them to mix together. I probably won't use any in my design because I want to keep the color kind of true to what's on my tile. But you are more than welcome to do that. If you start your design and you don't end up liking it or you want to alter it somehow, you use rubbing alcohol to mix it together. So you can put it in a spray bottle or you can just dab it on. You can do a lot of really neat things with it. And you want to make sure that you take your alcohol ink all the way to the edges. I might just kind of blend this line a little bit. I just adore these mixatives. So honestly, I use more mixatives than I do like regular colors, honestly. Love, love, love these. So I'm going to try to bring it a little bit toward the inside of the snowflake, and I may add a little bit more green and blend it back out so that it stays even. Because I ended up covering most of my snowflakes. So let's add a little bit more green. Bring the color back out a little bit. There are tons and tons of colors available, so don't be worried if you're not a fan of these colors. There are tons and tons of options, both on Amazon and in the craft stores, and all over the place. I just love the texture that these add. They're so fun. Let's add a little bit more green down this way and then we'll be done. And the neat thing is that every time you use alcohol inks, every single one's going to be different. So even if you're doing a matching set, all of the ornaments are going to look different, and they're supposed to. So it's a lot of fun to play with these and see what looks you can create. Bring that mixative back in here a little bit. All right, let's peel off the vinyl and see what this looks like. So you're just gonna give the alcohol ink a couple of seconds to dry. It dries really, really super fast, so you're not gonna have to worry about a lot of wait time. But I'm just gonna use my pin pen to very, very carefully peel up my vinyl and see what the design is left underneath. Oops. Of course, my vinyl doesn't want to come up. But I'm trying to only put my pin pen on the actual vinyl so that I don't chip any of the color away from the edges. Oh, these little edges may be a little bit of a pain. May have to use my weeding ring for this one. And this weeding ring, I always get a lot of questions about this weeding ring whenever I use it. I bought this from 651 Vinyl, but they are out of stock of them currently. So if you're interested in one of these, I can link it for you in the description from Amazon. All right, so let me get this a little closer and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So look how gorgeous that is. It looks so unique and fun, and I love the way that the gold and the rose gold blended together on the outside to create just a beautiful metallic look. So, so gorgeous. So if you want to use alcohol inks on your ornaments, you want to seal with a clear acrylic spray. So one of the most popular ones that people talk about with alcohol inks seems to be Triple Thick. The brand is Krylon and the spray is called Triple Thick, but basically you can use any clear acrylic sealer that you want, and you probably want to do 2 to 3 coats of Triple Thick on top of your ornament, and you want to let the coats dry in between. So take it somewhere outside, spray it, let it dry for maybe an hour or two, then come back, spray it again, let it dry for another hour or two, and then spray it again. And that's just going to ensure that your alcohol ink stays in place, because it is easily activated again by things like liquids or alcohol or other things. So just for durability's sake, you want to do that. But because both of these ornaments are tile, either way that you choose, you need to make sure that you are doing something to finish up the backing of this. Because if you are giving these as a gift or selling them to a customer, you want to make sure that your back looks nice and professional. So let me show you how to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a ribbon to hang it from. So I'm just going to cut a piece and go ahead and hot glue that on there. And since that one's not sealed, I'll put that aside. But we'll just put some ribbon at the top of this one. I like to leave nice long loops for people to hang their ornaments, just in case they want some options. And I am going to hot glue this down. So I'm just going to secure the base with my fingers, but be careful not to burn them. And then I'm going to put plenty of hot glue all along the back so that we secure this ribbon in place. That way, even if these ornaments get a little bit of a tug, they'll still last really well. So I'll give this a moment to set, and then what I'm going to do is use some regular felt, and I'm going to trace the design and put some felt on the back to finish this off, make it not look like it's tile. So I'm just going to put my hexagon on here, and I'm going to trace a few lines with a Sharpie. They don't have to be perfect, but you want them to look, you know, relatively neat. And I'm also just going to maybe make some dots at the corners instead of trying to trace the whole thing. That way I can just cut basically inside each of my dots. So that will create enough lines for me. You could also have your Cricut cut the shape if you can find the shape. Like for example, I'm sure you could find a hexagon in Design Space. It's probably under the basic shapes. But I just decided to do it by hand just because this is still super simple. But if you are selling these at a craft fair or something, feel free to utilize your machine for this because that could make your life a whole lot easier. And then I'll just cut. Oh no, I cut off my last dot. Here we go. So it's far from a perfect hexagon, but it will certainly work. I'll put this on the back, make sure it doesn't need to be trimmed. Oh, it looks like it does need to be trimmed a little bit. Maybe trim this in a little bit. And there, that's going to cover most of the backing. That is far from perfect, but since this is just going to be for me, that is more than enough. Just keep in mind that you want to have a nice, prettier shape than I do if you're going to give this away as a gift or sell it. So I'll just add a little bit of hot glue directly to the back of the tile. Plenty of hot glue. All right, y'all, and that's pretty much it. The one thing I did forget to say about alcohol ink tiles is you may want to consider inking the sides with the same colors that you're using. So just a thought for you to make sure that your tile looks nice and finished. And I would recommend doing the sealing with the clear acrylic spray that I explained a couple of moments ago before you go ahead and do the backing and the loop, because you don't want to get clear acrylic spray all over your ornaments ribbon. But if you have any questions or ideas, please make sure to put those in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe below to DIY Alex, and I hope we can craft again soon.